It's December 13th, 2025, Saturday White's main event. WWE's main event match that night, per usual, is exclusively Caucasian. But it's not just any match. It's one Hall of Fame Yakubian passing the torch to another. No, not that torch. Stop it. Anyway, John Cena tapped out to Gunther, officially ending an era. But not just the John Cena era. This was the end of the white main eventer in WWE as we know it. And what a hell of a run you honkies had. The first SmackDown and Raw of 2026 gave way to main roster call-ups Trick Williams and Javon Evans, respectively. Carmelo Hayes ended 2025 by winning the US Championship, and he's currently one of the fastest rising stars on the roster. Fans are legit in love with Melo. This isn't a Julius situation. Oba Femi is on his way. West Africa in the household. Jade Cargill is the WWE Women's Champion, and Lash Legend has kicked the door down to the women's tag team division. This put in motion a black prophecy I've been talking about on this channel for years. Welcome to the Rise of AfricaNXT. All those sickos talking about WWE's failures with black men in singles matches on PLE weren't doing so in bad faith. They're just idiots, God bless them. They didn't see what we always saw. They remained in denial when NXT on the CW destroyed AEW Dynamite just about every week and in every single head-to-head matchup. Now upgraded to the main roster, the time has come. The WWE main roster is getting blacker by the second, and the Old Boys Network is going to have to come on out and deal with this. Because the last time was now for John Cena and everything you know about the chronically Caucasian WWE main event. Changes are coming to WWE's main roster, but could these changes cause a white nationalist uprising in AEW? Subscribe in Zulu.
I mean, white folk just got to be the boss. And it blows their mind when a black man don't want to accept that.
Fun fact, I wrote this on January 6th, and I'm sure it's going to be tough to hear for the niche insurrectionist wrestling fandom, but WWE's main event has become the melanin event overnight. If WWE doesn't want to post a Black History Month poster in 2026, that's cool. I've never lost a second of sleep because white people refuse to celebrate our month. Celebration or not, every PLE poster is about to look like a Black History poster. Pretty soon, it'll be hard to tell the difference between WrestleMania and a versus battle. Whites looking to stay relevant better start growing their dreadlocks now. And I'm not saying there will be zero white main eventers or even that they'll go away entirely. Veterans from the old guard like CM Punk are alive and well. By the time you're reading this, Drew McIntyre could be world champ. The Vision is the first line of defense for the expiring white man with Braun Breaker and Logan Paul on the come-up. Cody Rhodes will always be in the mix, but he's spiritually Raheem. WWE's main event is about to get blacker and cooler, which will give WWE yet another advantage when it comes to fostering a younger, cooler audience. AEW's main event has turned into an anthology of Gunsmoke. It's a surprise that they didn't get sold to Paramount Plus yet. Swerve Strickland basically has a monopoly on black history in AEW, and after that, it gets sketchy. The Hurt Syndicate stays strong, but in the inept AEW ecosystem, they're not seen as potential world title contenders. Instead, stories leak from inside of AEW about how the Hurt Syndicate are a conniving group of brothers who don't want to do a job. I'm sorry, correct me if I'm wrong, but Sting was so white, he wore 2 layers of whiteness. But when he went undefeated against AEW only to retire, that same ecosystem considered it heartwarming. I guess that added layer of white-face privilege paid off. AEW failed a major coronation with its great white hope in Hangman Adam Page. Its next white hope is the interchangeable, charismatically challenged super worker, drug-free Kyle Fletcher. Will Ospreay is owed a world title run, and suddenly the next batch of AEW pay-per-views will start looking like a South Park poster. Streaming on Paramount Plus. AEW doesn't have to say the quiet part out loud, but it's clear that their plan is to crown as many white hopes as possible to hold on to the predominantly white niche of indie and New Japan supermarks from 2018. AEW's women's division is actually literally dripped in black and gold. Given their success alone, Mercedes Moné and Athena should be AEW's top 2 main eventers, but AEW doesn't let women main event their pay-per-views. Plus, AEW face-planted when it came to the storytelling of Athena and Mercedes' record-breaking accomplishments. Given their OP booking in the ring, Mercedes versus Athena should be the biggest match in AEW. but both are seen as almost cartoonish heels despite their unprecedented accomplishments for anybody, let alone black women in the once white wrestling business. Meanwhile, in do-rag WWE, white passing Sami Zayn begged for another empty opportunity at a world title. Thankfully, Trick Williams' lemon pepper stepped all over Sami's story on day one. Trick basically said the quiet part out loud to Sami. It's our turn now.
Let me tell you something. 30 years ago, we would have been strung up in somebody's tree, getting hung for beating two white boys the way we just did. But now, you might want to come out here and put some belts on us, but the only belts we gonna be wearing around here is the tag team belt. Let me tell you something. I don't like being up here. I was getting out of my car, I slipped and fell, it's a tobacco spit. And you know what I'm saying? Nothing but rednecks up here. Nothing but geeks up here. Nothing but coal miners up here. Chicken farmers. Klansmen.
In my year-end predictions piece, I predicted that Javon Evans would be a world champion in 2026. I'll take that one step further. At some point in 2026, every single men's and women's world champion on the main roster will be black at the same time. Whether it's Trick, Oba, Lash, and Jade, Javon, Ricky, Bianca, and Naomi, Kalani, Bianca, Trick, and Mello. Whatever the combination, it'll look fantastic on a Black History Month PLE poster. It's so many niggas coming. Sling Blade Dave and Brian Bonaparte are begging for a Great White Hope.
If someone deserves to be called up from NXT, it's that frickin' Ethan Page.
That guy is awesome. This Kendall Gray is awesome.
They need to make her a superstar because she's a superstar waiting to happen. Even more than Soul.
I've stayed cool, calm, and collected throughout WWE's Black Man PLE drought because that's a bullshit stat and I know better. I don't react to the past. I evaluate the past and present and try to react to the future. When I realized WWE had a lack of black men featured on PLEs, I wasn't concerned in the way I would be maybe 10 years ago. I saw the future. I've watched YNXT every week for years now. It's the blackest weekly wrestling product I've ever seen, and more importantly, all the black top stars are over. Lest we forget when I said there's a whole soul plane of future black main eventers in AfricaNXT ready to go right now. When I posted my all elite white people video in 2021, it's because I saw the present and I reacted to the future of AEW. That future was whiter than the snowman's bathroom sink. There were no black main eventers being groomed for a world title, let alone black talent winning matches. After that video was published, the next 7 AEW world champions over the next 2 years were either whites or Samoa Joe. It wasn't until I went viral talking about AEW's ultra white main event picture that Tony eventually threw Swerve a bone. But that was a token reign with a firm expiration date. And what a glorious 4 months that was. But if Swerve Strickland is like Token on South Park, AfricaNXT was like every person in the Proud family. Jada Parker just came back, and she's a friendly reminder that in this era of WWE dominated by YNXT, even the chanting will get blacker on the main roster.
Booker, look who...
Don't play that shit! Jada, don't play that shit! Booker T! Hogan, he coming for you!
They're about to go from "this is wrestling" to "Jada, don't play that shit." Black is beautiful and the ratings prove it. When NXT tried to put AEW out of business, they fought crackers with crackers. AEW was a super indie filled with some of the top white talent in the business. Kenny Omega, the Young Bucks, Hangman Adam Page, Darby Allin, MJF, Jon Moxley, Cody Rhodes kinda. NXT tried to counter with Karrion Kross, Finn Balor, and top white stable The Undisputed Era. NXT lost the Wednesday Night War handily because you don't fight crackers with crackers, you fight crackers with a cookout. That's why NXT has dominated AEW in the AfricaNXT era. Now all this black talent is on its way to reverse colonize WWE's main event just in time for the aging whites to say goodbye. Gunther already retired Goldberg. Then he tapped out John Cena. AJ Styles looks like he's next. Then probably Brock Lesnar. Either way, WWE is going through a Caucasian cleansing of some of its biggest names to make way for the blackest era of pro wrestling on Oprah Winfrey's earth. This will be the first era of WWE superstars where the vast majority of talent can do the Cupid Shuffle on rhythm. Seriously, Trick and Lash's wedding is about to be lit. All this with Jada, Parker, Kalani Jordan, Ricky Starks, and Leon Slater still in developmental. I cannot wait to see the lamest white podcasters you know trying to keep up with all the black references on Beyonce's television, only to fail miserably.
Cody wishes him luck, and the crowd pops, and then as he's leaving, Trick says, "Hold on a second, one more thing. Are you coming to the cookout?" And the place goes nuts. I guess they have a local cookout at the Performance Center for the fans.
Trick Williams debuted this week and talked about his lemon pepper steppers. So I guess he's seasoning his sneakers now? Is that a thing? Wrestling's era of work rate and landing on your head on purpose to pop the dirt sheets is a relic from a decade ago. With or without William Regal's heartfelt tweet, all that indie slop that used to get people over when their charisma wouldn't just doesn't work anymore. Did you see how empty that box center was on the first Dynamite of the year? You'll see soon enough when AEW tries to make Kyle Fletcher a thing. And now that I think about it, AEW's lack of black talent in the main event could lead to an unlikely alliance with one of the most incorrigible groups on the South African internet. AEW could make some inroads with white nationalists who think they're losing the country once they see all the black main eventers in WWE. I'm not joking. Behind every black takeover of a white establishment, there are angry whites looking to rebel. Your president made white nationalism mainstream, and crackers like Nick Fuentes are using the Trump playbook themselves. Because remember, if you're pro-black, it's militant and controversial. If you're pro-white in this country, it's presidential. Whenever black people start dominating any white establishment, the clear people go into a patriot panic and dig up the biggest bigots to scare us off. Bill Maher, whose girlfriend has a dying white man fetish, look it up, she's like Boomer Superhead, except when she writes a book about all her lovers, it'll read like an obituary. Anyway, Bill Maher predicted that he wouldn't win a Golden Globe because woke Hollywood wouldn't give it to him. He was right. He lost. And they gave it to Ricky Gervais, one of the least woke comedians in the business. Wokeness and minorities get blamed by white losers even when we had nothing to do with it. AEW's been losing to Raw, SmackDown, Saturday night's main event, PLEs, and NXT for a long time. And now that black talent will be a big part of that equation, a desperate AEW can appeal to anti-woke white nationalists as the home of professional honkies. There will be plenty of white wrestling fans pissing and moaning about how WWE is not their wrestling. Between Trick, Mello, Oba, Ricky, and Javon, a certain section of the honky sphere is going to feel like America voted 5 times for Obama. They're going to want a more American product. You know, with less thugs. And whether Tony Khan wants to book a pro-white product or not, AEW is in position to do just that. And they may not have a choice. They already booked a skinhead stable as their top act for a year, which sucked, but the closest MJF came to evolving his character was when he himself played a white nationalist and a real American, which strictly from a kayfabe standpoint was some of his best work. AEW just signed Charlie Kirk supporter Tadevik. That's a start, and she looks like Kristi Noem's Lieutenant Dogcatcher. With a start like this to 2026, Trump might do WWE the same way he does all his baby mamas and cheat on them with a much younger AEW, who just turned 7 years old. We'll be right back.
You sound so beautiful and cute. How old are you?
I'm 8.
I'd like to send a special shout out to my homeboy, O.J. Simpson. Keep up the good work, baby. 2 less we got to worry about. You understand? Keep up the good work. Louis Farrakhan will be the next president. Snoop Dogg, we know you're innocent. You called me last night. You understand? Get ready, Smoky Mountain, because we're going to set this place on fire.
All right, fans, there they are, the team to be heard from. It's Smoky Mountain Wrestling.
With the main event scene whiter than Ibu's elbows, AEW can be like, tired of Trick Williams, Oba Femi in the hood-ass main event? Then tune in to AEW Dynamite, only on the Turner Old Boys Network for wrestling done the right way. Maybe they can partner with Erica Kirk and Turning Point for a joint main event and go halvesies on Pyro. You know, Dean Clanbrose was my husband's favorite wrestler. Who knew Control Your Narrative was ahead of its time? I don't know, I'm just trying to help. It's worth a shot, and AEW seems light years away from their next black hope, Let's Go Kevin Knight. AEW's latest attempt to revive their brand came in the form of a pathetic partnership with Sports Illustrated. You can read all about that in this video.
Don't you think that there's something that you should apologize for? Please. I say, y'all haven't apologized for what you did to black people. I haven't done nothing to you all but tell the truth.